Windows RT is bloated, Tweetbot for Mac, Google's event, and the MFI conference. It's Friday, October 19th, 2012, and this is iWake. I'm Tim Chaten, and this is what's going on in the Apple world today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of iWake. This is Tim here, and my apologies yesterday for the lack of a show. Basically, I didn't see enough news to fill up a full show, and it just thought you better to wait a day to get a proper show out to you guys. So here is that show. And before we get started, I just want to say I did try out Movie Pass last night for the first time. It worked flawlessly. I went to the theater of my choice. I checked in on the application, selected the show time and movie I wanted, and then when I did that, being at that location, it added those $11 to the debit card for me to use for the ticket. I was able to buy the ticket at the kiosk and got the ticket, and it was really awesome. So it's $35 a month in Hawaii. I saw on my bill it might be dropping to $25, but at any rate, I can go to a movie a day as long as they're different movies, and I'm definitely going to be using the service. And instead of going home to watch TV, I can now treat the theater as my nightly entertainment if I want to. So it's pretty cool. So I had success with that, and I will be reporting as it goes on more and more, and seeing just how it goes. So far, so good. First up, the opening story today, Adam Christensen of the MacCast tweeted this out, and I just wanted to share this with you. Wow. The Windows RTOS will use 1/3 of the 32 gigabyte of storage. iOS uses just 1 gigabyte. So if I do the math here, 32 gigabytes, and 1/3 of that would be 10.56 gigabytes. So over 10 gigabytes dedicated to the operating system. Even the Mac operating system, OS X, does not use this much space. The Mac is 3 to 4 gigabytes. That's a full OS. This is RT. This is supposed to be a tablet optimized OS. So it's very bloated, and that's kind of sad to see, but not totally unexpected, I may add. So next up, app news. First up is Tweetbot for Mac. It's finally out. It's had its debut. It's in the Mac App Store, and it's got a price tag of $20. Some people are complaining about this, as it may be too high for them, as it's a Twitter app. I should just use a free one. But to them, I have to say, you should pay for quality software. Tweetbot's a quality app, and it's worth the $20 price tag. No one fights that about the Omni Group. The Omni Group prices their software accordingly, and there's no complaints there. So I stand by Tweetbot with their pricing. They have commented that they picked this $20 price point so that they could continue to support the app even if their tokens run out from Twitter. The CEO says that the token cap and the other API restrictions didn't discourage the company from finishing up Tweetbot. If anything, it pushed them to release it even faster. He indicated that the company asked Twitter to raise the token cap for Tweetbot for Mac, but the answer was no. Next up in app news is Carmageddon. It's a classic ultraviolent racing game, and it's been resurrected for the iPhone and iPad. And they basically got funded through Kickstarter. Stainless Games, original developer of Carmageddon, is still in business and had to buy back the rights for this game. The Kickstarter raised $625,000, and they plan to release it for Windows, Mac, and Linux in the coming months. It's available now for $2 in the App Store for iPhone and iPad as a universal release. So next up is some Passbook news. First up, Clout users. That's right, Clout users, you have a Passbook. You can now brag about your Clout score. Clout now supports Passbook. The app gives you your own Clout card, pass that shows your name, photo, and Clout score. Use it to show off your influence and get special service and experiences from the businesses you love. It's also now optimized for iPhone 5, so there you go. I'm not a big Clout user, but if you're into that kind of stuff, it's there. And other Passbook news, the United States Patent and Trademark Office granted Apple its trademark for Passbook. They originally filed this claim back in June, so they now have it. Now, on to Competitor Watch. First up today is Google. First up to note is stormtroopers evidently guard their data centers. There's some pictures here, and pretty entertaining pictures at that. In other news, Google has announced they're holding a new event. Not a new event, but they're holding an event for Android October 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern. This goes right up against Microsoft's event for their Windows Phone 8 platform, I believe. The event is pretty simple. The playground is open on the invite. Join us for an Android event. Shows off a little bit of the UI of Android, but beyond that, it doesn't offer much. What people have speculated, though, are a couple of different things. First, a new Nexus phone built by LG. They will also be showing off something called Keyline Pi, the next OS for Android. And that's all we really have a guess about as far as right now. And it is really interesting news that they are, in fact, doing this. Timing is, of course, not unexpected. They typically release Nexus devices at the end of the year, as it's wrapping up the end of the year. And that's very good to see. Competition is a good thing. In other news, this isn't really competitor news, but I thought I'd throw it in this section, is Newsweek. They're going to transition to an all-digital format in early 2013. As part of this transition, the last print edition will be December 31st. So Newsweek magazine is transitioning from paper to all digital. This is a big deal. I really thought Newsweek would not do this, as they probably have a huge subscriber base, as I thought, in the paper realm, and that may not be the case. Newsweek Global will be the new publication. It will be a single worldwide edition targeted for mobile, opinion-leading audience who want to learn about world events in a sophisticated context. Newsweek Global will be supported by paid subscription and will be available through e-readers for both tablet and the web, with select content available on the Daily Beast. So that's that. Pretty interesting news there. In other news, Amazon versus Apple. So Amazon is competing with Apple's education market by introducing Whispercast. They state your school or business can now extend the benefits of Kindle to its students, employees, or customers. Whether you're looking to distribute literature for class or use Kindle for your corporate training or incentive programs, Whispercast helps you reduce the administrative costs and complexity of sending Kindle content and managing your Kindles. This thing will let you manage your Kindles right from whispercast.amazon.com. Saves you time registering your Kindles. Provides internet access by sending your wireless network and proxy settings to your Kindles automatically through this system. Protects your information by requiring a password on Kindles if desired. Controls how your Kindles can be used to block Facebook and Twitter integration, web browsing, and purchasing. You can keep your Kindles yours by blocking factory reset and device deregistrations. And pretty soon you'll be able to bring your own device program into this Kindle platform. The other thing it does besides managing is distributing. This will let you wirelessly procure and distribute Kindle books to your organization's Kindles or any PC, Mac, or whatever app you're using. You'll be able to organize your Kindles into different grades, classes, or departments. You'll be able to share documents by uploading and distributing them to this platform, PDF, Word docs, things like that. And that will push the things all the way to the other devices, and much, much more. They mentioned App Store stuff as well. So Whispercast is a big thing and something I wish Apple would do. So that is a very cool thing indeed. So Whispercast, and I'm curious if Apple will compete with this in any way. Next up in news, I probably should talk about this earlier, but is Google releasing this new Chromebook that looks remarkably like a MacBook Air. Same styled trackpad with keys and the thinness and all that kind of good stuff. It's priced at $249 and it's 11.6-inch screen, and it's quite a machine. So it's if you're looking for a MacBook Air that's actually a Chromebook, this thing looks pretty cool. So there is a link to it in the show notes for that laptop. Now, closing out the show is a variety of different Apple news. So what do we have in Apple news? First up is the MFI conference. This is kind of a cool thing, the Made for iPhone, iPad, and iPod conference. This is going to be in China from November 7th to 9th. And Basically, they're going to have a kickoff, Apple Business Update, and MFI Technology Trends for 2013. Insights from Apple Retail, designing Lightning accessories. They'll have transitioning from analog to digital, wireless technology update, and MFI program changes. That's all on the first day. On the second day, they'll have lab sessions, 2 of them. Engineers, self-certifications, and MFI administration will be there. They'll have Bluetooth and AirPlay, Wi-Fi, all that kind of information there. On the last day, they will once again talk about AirPlay, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and things like that. So this is a big deal, and hopefully this conference can kickstart some fantastic accessories for our iOS devices. So that is that. More information at the link in the show notes. Next up in Apple news is the hacker at Comex on Twitter is no longer working with Apple. He basically forgot to reply to an email that asked him to continue employment with Apple, but simply didn't see the email. So this famous hacker was one of the big jailbreakers out there, and actually worked with Apple for about a year. So that is that for those interested. And finally, there is a link in the show notes I would highly encourage you to go check out. It is Apple's print ads from 1975 to 2002. It kind of shows its evolution, and it's a really cool thing. So they've gathered up pretty much all the print ads by Apple, and they are available there at that link, retronaut.co. It's in the show notes. Please go to the show notes at iWakePodcast.com for that. It is quite frankly quite cool to see. So that is that, and that's going to do us for the show today. That is what's going on in the Apple world today. You can find the show notes at iWakePodcast.com. I also do videos over at youtube.com/TCHATEN. And finally, I do this thing called iWake Again. I'll have an episode tomorrow or on Sunday. I'm not sure which. But it's going to be an audio podcast for you there. And I also give you access to the scripts I read from if you sign up for iWake Again over at iWakePodcast.com/again. So that's the show for today. Thank you for listening or watching. I will be back tomorrow for another edition, or I'll be back Monday for another edition of iWake. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again, subscribers, tomorrow. Aloha.